wondered how much of your life can be seen on your social media accounts? And which posts do you share, like, and comment the most? How do you react to things you see online? Share us your thoughts and join us in tonight's episode, only here on UJ Radio.
Two social media platforms and I'm using them both.
I think I have 10 social media platforms. Pero palag ko lang ginagamit sa kanila is 5.
I actually have 6 social media platforms but I'm only active on 4.
Ang mga ginagamit ko pong social media platforms ngayon ay ang Facebook, Instagram.
Minimum of 4 social media platforms po, which are the Telegram, Messenger, Facebook, and YouTube.
When I take breaks between the tasks I need to do during the day,
I think araw-araw ko naman siya ginagamit.
Every day when I'm done with everything and I want to relax.
Every time po na wala akong ginagawa, yan po kagad yung i-check ko, titingnan ko po kung may mga notifications pa ako, kung may nag-chat po ba sa akin.
Because it is an essential and effective way of communicating remotely.
Mas madali po kasing makipag-communicate sa ibang tao and mahalaga po yan sa katulad ko pong estudyante kasi mas madali pong maka-access ng information.
Dito tayo makakuha ng communication, connection sa friends natin, and magiging up-to-date tayo sa mga nangyayari dito sa mundo ito na kailangan natin.
to share my faith through reposts from the INC Media News or even activities from our district, to perform my duties as a church officer,
To watch and share the activities and programs of the Church of Christ, to be able to inspire more people and to share my faith.
Hello po mga ka-UJ! Good evening!
Good evening!
everybody! Ayan, syempre, you're watching Unity Junction Radio. We are live on INC TV and of course on INC Production Company's Facebook page and YouTube channel. So, kanina po nakita niyo na si Kuya Randall. Unfortunately, tonight ay hindi po namin siya kasama. But yes, you are with me. So, ako po si Sister Bea and of course with me is Kuya Kyle. Kuya Kyle,
Thank you
hi!
very much, Sister Bea. It's another Saturday, 8 p.m. every Saturday, 8 p.m. It's us three. If Brother Randall is not flying halfway around the world, it's me and Bea here at home with you here in Quezon City. Our home base is in Quezon City. So wherever you are, whether you're coming from France, nakita natin yung mga replies before we appeared on your television screens or your computer screens. We had respondents from France and all over the Philippines about our topic today. Our topic being where you are right now. And I'm not saying you when I'm talking about Bea. I'm talking about you. Oh, wait, let me go through some of our responses here. To all of our viewers watching on a social media platform, and primarily we're on Facebook and YouTube right now. To Sophia, to Gianna, you are on social media, and that is what we're talking about tonight, right, Bea?
Yes, Kuya Kyle. So, for sure ay makaka-relate na naman ang marami po sa ating mga manonood ngayong gabi. Nakita nyo naman po. Ang sabi nga po namin ay, are you sure about posting this? O, yun po, yun yung ating topic for tonight. We'll be talking about social media. So, join in our conversation po sa ating mga comment sections on Facebook and YouTube. At pag may mga kasamahan po kayo dyan na baka makaka-relate din po sila, imbitahan nyo na rin po silang manood ngayong gabi. So, hello din po syempre sa ating viewers po on Team YouTube. Kuya Kyle, I'll just shout out a little bit na rin habang
Go!
they're here na sina Kuya Chris Daniel, si Ate Lovely Jean, si Kuya Josh, andito si Ate Camille Kate. Hello Ate Camille Kate, we missed you. Si Kuya Chaser, si Kuya Paolo. Hello. Happy watching po everybody. How about there Kuya Kyle? Meron pa ba on Facebook?
On Facebook, yes. Let me go ahead and switch over to that tab. It's one of those things where it's just scrolling by so fast. So if anything, number one, salamat po sa inyo lahat. to Sophia, to Elipidio, to Mark, to Romy, to Andrea. So keep on coming.
Yeah.
To INC Production Company responding, whoever it is in the background of our crew, thank you so much for always keeping in touch. To let's see, Kamadel, to Elsie. I know Elsie. Elsie's always been there every week, so please be like Elsie. If I see a top fan on Facebook, that means you're awesome.
Yes.
Extra awesome. To Sophia as well. Now today we are talking about social media. So
Social media.
we'll go ahead and get right to it.
Yes, Kuya. So ako naman nagtatanong, Kuya, how many social media platforms accounts do you have? Sabi kanina, di ba, yung tanong nila. So how about you, Kuya?
So I wanted to ask you first. There's more than the 5 or around. I saw one sister in our video earlier said she had 10. And I'm like, there are 10 social media platforms? There's actually a lot more than 10 or 20 social media platforms. So Bea, throw a random number out there. How many social media sites you think there are in 2021 out there into the internet verse?
To be honest, I don't even know.
Throw a random number out there. Again, there's more than 10. There's more than it's random number. Go.
I'll say 16.
No, there's more than that. Really? I did a quick search, and the top result says there are over 100 social media sites.
Wow.
Yes. A handful of them are named after food, like peanut butter and caffeine.
Very random.
Right. But of course, the most widely used, easily the most widely used social media platform is the one that I just said hi to kanina on Hi, which I said hi to kanina, and it's Facebook, because about what there's like 2 or 3. But besides, the ones that we're on right now, there are 6 social media platforms. 6.
All right.
That can claim more than 1 billion monthly active users.
Wow, grabe.
So that's
nag-review ka talaga, ha?
Yeah, I got to be ready for our shows because we have to give value back to our listeners. And thank you so much for spending an hour of your time with us. So an hour of your time with us on Facebook or YouTube, I'm sure spread out over the course of a month. 1 in 7 people on this planet are on one of 6 of those social media platforms.
Grabe.
Right?
And
we're touching on everyone's life today.
Yes. So kaya mag-invite pa po kayo na manonood kasi this is just 2 of those platforms po na sinasabi nga namin ni Kuya Kyle dito kanina. So now, Kuya, let's trim it down. How many social media?
I was on Friendster. I was on MySpace. If you were on Google Plus. Thank you, Christian, for that, for also commenting there. I was on Google Plus, but of course, those are the ones that no longer exist. Even though there's 100 plus now, there are a few that no longer exist. Right now, I am primarily on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I think YouTube can be a social media platform as well.
Yes, pwede naman.
On our videos as well. And those are my main ones. So if off the top of my head, top 3, Facebook, Instagram, top 4, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter.
So sinabi mo, Kuya, I only have 2. That's why I don't have much idea. I'm not a very active user of social media, so I only have 2. So sa mga nakakilala sa akin, I do have an Instagram account. I don't have a Facebook account. Yes, Kuya, I follow you too. So of course, through Instagram, magka-followan din kami ni Kuya Kyle and other hosts, of course, here on INC Production Company. So I'm only active on 2. So how about kayo ba sa mga viewers natin? Siguro just give a number kung ilan yung social media platforms na active po kayo para naman malaman namin din, ma-share namin dito yung mga sagot nyo. Okay, so Kuya, okay, so...
Like, for example, I have 4, but for each of those 4, I have 2 accounts. So that's 8? Let's get a little bit personal. I have a private account, family, friends, work. If I have not had a meaningful conversation with you, either face to face or through chat, I'm not going to add you because it's a very personal.
Private.
I'll share family things. I'll share pictures of my niece on there or whatever.
Right.
So it's very private. And then I have a public one. For everyone, like on those public accounts, I will even follow brands like my favorite watch brands or shoe brands or desk setups or it's a pandemic, your favorite plant shop. I'll follow those brands. Even if you don't follow me back, I don't care. I'll follow you. There used to be that thing, no, follow me back, and I'll follow you. I don't do that.
talagang yung ibang tao, kuya, no, but well, for most people, they do have one account and nandun na po lahat. And then there are just, I think I know a handful of people that have a private account na, kasi nga parang, diba, it's, when you're out there now, once you started using social media, tapos you add everybody and they add you back, and parang, you don't know who are the ones who are important there anymore. Like you, kuya, you just have a personal account na dun, it's just your family and really close friends. So, yeah. So why do you do that po?
So like getting personal, like for the past year, we've all been trapped at home. So we've all had way too much time on our hands. Well, I have. So the limits, halimbawa sa Facebook, you can only have 5,000 friends on your personal account.
Yeah.
I think I had like 4,900 something way back.
Hindi umabot sa 5,000.
Yeah, and I've never really met all those people. So now if you try to add me, like my total friend count right now, let us know what your friend count is.
Also, yeah.
I have like 300, so I trimmed it down from 4,900 to under 400.
Wow.
And I put them all in groups. So it's like there's church, there's work, there's close family.
You sorted it.
There's distant family, there's other work, there's this interest group and this interest group and this interest group. So basically it's like, if you know Marie Kondo, like you're Marie Kondoing your digital life, you're asking yourself, you're going to the friend number 3,456 and you're looking at friend number 3,456 and you're thinking yourself, like Marie Kondo would think, does this person spark joy in my life? Kung hindi, yes, bye-bye. Diba? Dali na lang natin.
Kasi nga, you don't communicate with all of those 4,000 people anyway. So parang, diba, and you don't see everything that they're posting anymore. The same po with me using my social media platform. Hindi rin lahat nakikita ko. Mostly I follow there, of course, family and friends. But I only have one social media account for that. Unlike Kuya Kyle, who has two for his Instagram. I only have one. So on there na po, kasi it's just for, I don't know, ako kasi, kuya, parang, it's just for communication. It's staying present. Kasi po, ang daming hindi nakakaalam na, ano na pala nangyari sa akin? Nasa Quezon City ka pa pala, and stuff like that. So just so they would know where I am, how I am doing, but not post everything there. And just like you, kuya, I also follow brands, shops. Syempre, yung mga babae po dyan, mga ladies natin dyan, mahilig mag-follow ng mga damit, mga sapatos. Kasi it's easier to shop that way too, kasi it's a little more reliable that way if I shop from there. So it's very limited too. But yeah, I don't share that much. I don't have a Facebook account kasi po, well, I had just to share po with maybe some mga viewers po natin dyan or others, like si Kuya Kyle, he's a very private person as well. Kuya, I have a question though, pero why that private po? Why that level of privacy? You're a media person. You have a job. You know friends. You go places. People can watch you online or TV for years now. So why that level of privacy po on social media?
I think when it first started, when I got into radio, right after college, I got into radio. And then, when you get into radio, you become a DJ or a public figure. I don't like that term, but the imposter syndrome. But you create your public pages. And I had one back then, personal lang. And a lot of people start adding you. And they don't have a bad experience. It's 2021. We've all heard stories about cyberbullying and cyber libel and everything like that. So I had a bad experience. With the stalking and everything like that. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna cut this off. So I deleted that page, even though there's a lot of people who had liked it. And I said, I'm just gonna be very picky about who I add on my personal pages. And then kahit sino man sa public. But sa public accounts ko, I won't say where I live. I won't take pictures of my apartment or my parents' house or, pictures of my young nieces. I'm not gonna put that too much at all on the public accounts, because cyberbullying and libel, and it's 2020, 2021, the cancel culture, it's not a pretty place. There's the good and then there's the really bad.
Madami talaga. Actually, I think it's a really brave thing. Kasi syempre medyo mas younger po ako sa inyo, Kuya Kyle, diba? It's a brave,
Thank you for pointing that out.
I'm like, Kuwe. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
But sino yun? May tumatawa din sa background natin. No, walang nagre-react sa team namin. No, but what I'm saying is kasi because we're a little bit younger, so parang I grew up, parang elementary pa lang may social media na.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm just that young. Kuya Kyle is not that far ahead for me in Kuya Kyle.
We had SMS.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. So kumbaga medyo nandun na kami sa lumaki yung mga kaedar, mga 20s, yung mga teenager dyan. Lumaki na tayo ng may na meron ng social media. Na it became like a sort of part of your identity to have one. Parang you must have one because if you don't have one, then parang you're out of the group or outdated ka.
So basically, Bea, like you don't know what life is like without the internet, right?
Well, yun po yung difference with me. I could say I'm kind of proud of it na kasi when people ask me, wala kang ganitong social media platform? Wala po. Paano ka nabubuhay? How do you survive?
Right.
Because for me, it's just going back to the basics na parang, before we don't have these things. Wala naman po tayong mga social media platforms. We don't get to share everything that's on our mind randomly, or not everything's accessible po like that, or hindi mo nakikita ng ganon kadalas or nakakausap ng ganon kadalas yung relatives mo. Hindi mo nga malalaman na birthday niya or kinasal na pala siya or engaged na pala siya unless you see them in person. So, yun lang yun sa akin na parang we didn't have this before, and if they're really important to me and I'm important to them, they would stay in touch with me a little more personally. I won't really need to use social media. It just depends. So parang I don't have some social media platforms because, like Kuya Kyle, I had a really, really bad experience with a certain social media platform way back in high school. So, it kind of parang nagmarka na talaga sa akin yun. So now, every time that I tried making an account there, pero parang ayoko na talaga. Siguro I should just stay away from this kasi para, like you said, Kuya, kanina yung different kinds of negative cultures around social media. You could easily get affected by it, lalo na po yung mga kabataan pa. So, you should know how to... But there are positive, of course, sides or purposes of social media. It's just that pili lang tayo kung ano yun, paano natin gagamitin yung ating social media accounts. Right.
So obviously, if you can't see it on your screens, ladies and gentlemen, there's a huge age gap between Bea and I. If I don't look older than Bea on your screen, you need to upgrade your internet plan. Pero the reason why I bring that up, because we're both different generations between me and Bea. And when I had to go use the internet back in the day, we didn't have internet inside my home. I had to go to the public library, give my library card, and sign up on a piece of paper, wait in line to get online. And I think there was no Yahoo, there was no Google. It was like Alta Vista. If you're old enough to remember, please heart me on Facebook. And the reason why I bring that up is I think we take a lot of that for granted because, like you said, you choose and we choose not to have specific social media accounts or be active on specific social media platforms. But what I think a lot of us are forgetting is 2/3 of the world are on the internet. The other third, or maybe almost nearly half of the world, is not on the internet. Not on the internet, huh? What will the world look like 2 or 3 years from now, 5 years from now, when the next 1 billion, 2 billion people go on the internet? And I feel like before, when Facebook came out, everyone was like into sharing everything. Oh, look, here's a picture of my food. This is what I'm having. Nayon, I think people are going to follow us. We're really trendsetters. In the sense that from oversharing, we're going to be going to the opposite direction of, okay, who do I want to share this with? Like, we're going to go limited. We're going to close our digital communities and go into where we really have interests in. And instead of from oversharing what we had for breakfast, we'll just keep that to, right? Yeah. That's what I feel like.
I think that's a really good observation, Kuya. I think you're right. So parang instead of you just following and being curious about whatever they're having because you will see it, I think they'll be more curious now because you're more private. It'll be kind of something new maybe sa mga younger generation natin na, why are they not doing this, whatever we grew up with? Kasi diba, yung mga bata ngayon, they're gonna grow up with the internet and its vastness and kung gaano siya kalawak, and it's not gonna be that for some of us. I guess it just comes down po to choice. Na ano bang purpose nitong social media platforms na to sa atin? Bakit ba tayo gagawa ng account? Para saan? Like Kuya Kyle said kanina, does it spark joy? Diba? What will it do for us? How will we benefit from it? So I guess it comes down to the basics na lang ulit. Well, for some of us. But of course, if it sparks joy for you po, mga kapatid, wala namang problema. Of course, as long as you know how to use it properly. Right, Kuya Kyle?
Yes, and speaking of how to use it, we're going to go ahead and move into that topic after we give you a little break with an INCMV. This one is titled Shine, coming from halfway around the world across the Pacific Ocean from Orange County, California, and their entry to INCMV Awards 2021. Let's watch.
Stand by your faith until the end.
And there you have it. That was our INC-MV Shine coming from our brethren in Orange County, California with their entry to the INC-MV Awards 2021. I really miss the weather from Orange County. So to all of our brethren there, thank you very much for sharing with us your talent and the content that you're sending to us. Weather in the Philippines is a little rainy.
We're entering
and we all know that because every time the rain or there's flood, right, we see it on social media.
Yes.
Especially sa Central. If you live along Central, alam nyo, like there's that one corner of Central Avenue to to Visayas Avenue. It always gets flooded, and I know it's always flooded because I'll see it on my social media feeds. So thank you for not fake news, but actually good, helpful news.
Yeah, for information. And speaking of which, Kuya, I think meron po tayo mga responses from Facebook and YouTube. So I think we should get to that dahil mukhang nag-enjoy din sa discussion ng ating mga viewers po from there. Sana po yung mga nanonood din po on INC-TV. Hello po sa inyo. So a couple of responses. Kayo nagtanong kami ilan po yung mga social media platforms na present po kayo. Meron po nagsagot ng 4. Katulad po ni, sino ba yun? Si Sister Gianna. Ayan. Sabi po ni Mark, 4 po. Si Hazel, I have 1 social media account, Facebook only. Ayan.
Wow.
Diba? Very good. 1 lang. Alright. So for sure, ginagamit po yan para lalo sa mga aktibidad po natin inside the church. Si Romy, I have 4. Chris Daniel, meron akong 1, 2, 3, 4. Binilang ko na lang. Josh, 4 din. How about Kuya? Do you have some more, Kuya Kyle? Further?
Let's see from our friends and family from Facebook. Roberto says he only has 3. IG, YouTube, and Messenger. Yes, we can also consider, I think, messaging platforms as social media. Also, Chris Daniel 4, Josh 4. I think the average here from Romy is about 4. Hazel 1. If you have 1, I envy you because I wish I could just have 1. Less stress sa buhay.
Exactly, and less to check. Meron din ako nakita dito po kayo na sabi ni Chris Daniel, maging masinop tayo sa paggamit ng social media. Sabi ni Romy, yes po, we use social media mostly for communication, not for publicity, for sa private life. So more on, for communication purposes. Ayan, madami nag-a-agree sa mga comments po nila dito po sa ating YouTube section. Maging maingat sa pagpo-post. Aba?
Yes. But before we move into that deeper side of the topic about how should we be using social media, I think we got a sound check mystery sound coming up.
Yes, Kuya. Yes, Kuya. So, Kuya Kevin, sound check,
Ano po?
Hello po. Kuya Kyle, one more time?
Yes, I heard it. Yes, one more time. Just one more time. For all of our friends and family. My first thought was like, it's their horses, but no, it's not. Something wood. Something may wood.
Kuya, grabe yung horses. Lalabas siya.
Yung mga hooves nila.
Opo, dito sa kusan man, ang hirap na. But yes.
Everywhere. We get snapped everywhere.
Para sa akin, I remember po yung, di ba, yung mga lola natin, yung pong yung panahian, yung tinatapakan.
Sa sewing machine.
Opo, kasi umuupo ako doon sa baba noon tapos pinapaalis ako, baka mapano ka dyan. Di ba ganun yung tunog noon? So, ewan ko po.
So for all of our friends and family watching on YouTube and Facebook, please try to guess what that is by dropping your answers on our comments box with the hashtag Soundcheck.
Yes, all right.
Moving forward with our topic today about social media etiquette, I think the number 1 rule, at least for me, if you've heard of it before, I don't know what it's called. I got it from somewhere on the internet. So please correct me and help me by commenting. Ay, ito po yun yung official name ng theory that I want to share with you. I call it the mom rule or the mentor rule. Basically, if you're typing out on your phone a picture or a text or you're sharing a GIF or a meme, think about it for a second. Would your mom be proud of you if you click publish? Would your mentor be proud of you? Someone you look up to be proud of you if you posted that thing you're about to post on social media? Kanina, yung thumbnail natin sa YouTube and on Facebook. Yung mukha ni Bea, like, are you sure you want to post? Yes, ask yourself that. Ask yourself, would your mom or would your mentor, someone you look up to, be okay with you posting that? Kung hindi, edi wag natin i-post po.
Exactly. So katulad nga po na sinabi nila dito si Chris Daniel, think before you click. Well, think before you tap, think before you like, basically think before you do anything on social media. Kasi nga, di ba, whenever you post something on there, di ba meron pa yan sasabihin na parang pagka magagawa ka ng account na everything that you post on the social media platform will be owned by the social media platform once you put it on there. So kumbaga, legally, sa kanila na po yung mga pictures natin, di ba? So meron ganon.
Pinabasa mo yun, Bea. Do you read all of that? I don't.
I try to read it.
I never read it. I scroll and then click on the little box, accept, and then yeah. So I think that's a lot of the things that we miss. Whatever we post on these platforms, we don't own it. It's for them to put advertisements.
Exactly.
And you bring up a good point though with those what do you call that? I think it's called EULA. EULA. It's an acronym for whatever you post on this thing. It's ours. It's not yours, and we can do whatever we want.
The legal thing, di ba? Yun daw po yun. Mm-hmm.
And if you're on, Facebook or YouTube, for example, it's just ads. So I think one of the things that we should remind our friends and family who are with us today is the whole point for you to be on there is for you to stay on there as long as possible. Don't go anywhere. Don't wash your dishes. Don't do your laundry.
Don't do anything.
Just keep scrolling wherever you are, and that's the whole point. And I think that's something we should be mindful about.
Yes.
Okay, I've been on Instagram for an hour now. I think it's time for me to stop.
Exactly. Actually, di ba kuya, meron nga po nagsasabi na nga, kasi nga, using the internet and anything that's on it, parang naging part na ng normal na buhay ng tao. Di ba karamihan nga po pagising, hawak agad phone, magsiscroll sa social media. Bago matulog, para daw makatulog siya, magsiscroll din siya sa social media. Titignan niya yung news daw or yung latest na update ng kanyang paboritong, artista, singer. Yun yung ginagawa natin every day. So, meron din po ako nakitang study before or yung mga tips na sinasabi na po pwedeng orasan natin yung paggamit ng social media. Or di ba meron din po dyan sa settings po natin sa ating mga social media applications na meron siyang parang remind me of how much data I've used or remind me of how much time I've been on here. So po pwede po natin gamitin siguro yun so that we get reminded na, I've been here for too long, nakaka 1 or 2 hours na ako, hindi pa pala ako kumakain, may gagawin pa pala ako, may work pala ako ngayon. So baka kasi nalilimutan natin and we get really consumed with using it. Katulad na sabi ni Kuya Kyle kanina, basically, ngayon, nag-evolve din syempre yung mga social media platforms natin. Ang ginagawa po nila is they will try to know, they will study kung ano po yung mga hilig natin based on what we search. And then yun yung ipapakita nila sa atin para hindi kayo aalis sa paggamit ng social media na yun. So, I think, yes, tama. We should watch out for that, di ba?
I think, for example, I've always said that if you really want to know a person, and what their interests are, go check out their Instagram discovery feed or whatever appears on their Facebook feed or whatever YouTube recommends them or whatever Twitter appears first, because that's what they're interested in. And of course, these platforms, they want us to stay on the platform for as long as possible, so we see a lot more ads.
Exactly.
And I think we gotta be careful. There's a thing called doom scrolling, and I think it's been very apparent in the past year. Doom scrolling, if we don't know, FYI, is the act of spending an excessive amount, so too much time of screen time devoted to reading and absorbing and interacting with news. And when I say news, it's more often than not negative news, because when we're feeling feelings, we'll stay on the platform longer, and when it's a negative feeling, it's like and you just keep doing this. No. Exactly. It's hard. I know it's hard, but the more you know.
Yeah, more you know. Actually, may mga studies na nga po din na lumalabas, Kuya Kyle, about social media and exactly how it affects yun pong emotions ng tao. Na meron din po dyan na whenever whenever we're liked or somebody likes us or somebody approves of you in person, di ba natutuwa ka? So parang yun din yung yes. So yun din po yung ginagawa online na whenever somebody likes your picture, whenever somebody reacts positively to your picture, syempre natutuwa din tayo, and lalo yung mga kabataan ngayon, they get dependent on that. So parang
that like button.
The like button, exactly. Minsan heart yan, minsan like yan, minsan nga heart eyes yan, or yung mga tawa na talaga namang, natuwa siya sa akin. Yes, tama yung pinost ko. Maganda yung pinost ko kanina. Pinag-isipan ko, pinag-irapan ko. But, again, meron po yung positive and negative side. In moderation lang po dapat ang paggamit natin. Again, think nga, di ba? Think before you do anything online. Ayun, seeking validation po through social media, it's a big no-no. It's a big no-no.
Would your mom, would your mentor be proud of you if you posted that? Kung yes, post away. Kung hindi, like when in doubt, if you feel it in your gut na may konting doubt, maybe think a little bit more. I want to hear back from our friends and family over social media right now. If you could there's 103 social media platforms apparently in the world, and a lot of our viewers commented they do maybe 1 to 4. If you could just only use 1 or 2 social media platforms, which ones would those be? If you could drop all the others, then ano po yun? So for me, for example, I would keep Twitter because I use Twitter for news, and YouTube because I use that to learn as well. I would easily drop Facebook and Instagram.
Yes.
But bye. No regrets. No regrets.
If only hindi lang kailangan, no? I don't think I would drop anything because I only have 2.
Lucky you.
And on those 2, I also have very, very not really. I have boundaries na din. So I'm still building up my boundaries of kung hanggang saan lang po yung ipopost ko. And actually, Kuya, ito yung malaking positive side po of using our social media. Ang dami na rin nagko-comment po dito sa ating mga comment sections. Well, I'm reading from YouTube, Kuya Kyle. Sabi po nila, I use my social media platforms po for sharing my faith, for watching programs po sa INC. So, diba? Ayan. So, what do you think about that, Kuya? That's a big positive side. You know, like, thinking about, kasi nga, again, what we said earlier, let's go back to basics. But then, social media is becoming a basic. It's becoming a staple or parang something normal na dapat, meron ka. How should we use it to our advantage? And again, ano nga po ba yung positive side of using social media? So, isang malaking part po doon, lalo na po sa ating mga members po sa Iglesia ni Cristo, is using it for sharing our faith. Ito yun, di ba, yung promoting Christian culture. Katulad nga na sinasabi namin dito, or being Christians even online. So, Kuya Kyle, how about din sa mga social media accounts mo, you have 2 for each platform. Do you have one specifically used for, sharing content po for the church?
The public one. Because yung personal ko,
it's just personal talaga.
We're almost already in the same community now.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it's like
exactly.
Yes. But I think if it comes to the positive part of it, like we mentioned and spoke about earlier, like only half of the world is on on the internet. I'm not going to say social media, on the internet. So what happens to the other half of the world that hasn't yet heard about our practices and our beliefs? And I think there's a huge potential, since it's technology, since it's social media, for us to be able to reach people we wouldn't be able to reach in the first place without all these networking sites, right? Exactly. I think we have friends who aren't in the same community, and we share those things to those communities, and I think it can snowball if we use it again in a proper way that it's supposed to be used, and we could reach people we wouldn't be able to normally reach. And I think that's one positive side of the use of technology.
Exactly.
As long as we have a good upbringing. Like, I know your mom raised you well, my mom raised you well. It all goes back to would my mom be okay with me posting this on social media?
Actually, kuya, naisip ko nga kanina, di ba, yung like, di ba, that you get from other people, whereas, katulad na sinabi mo na would they approve of you, would they still like it if you would post this? Di ba, parang it matters more kung magugustuhan ng mga tao that you look up to. Yung mga sinasabi nila, that's the more important one. Sila dapat iisipin natin na parang, it's their like that's more important to us. Hindi yung mga tao na hindi naman natin nakikita. Di ba? Yun, very
like right now, my niece is 7 years old, so she's of course obviously younger than you in a different generation. I joke around with my oldest sister that she was born with an iPad in her hand because she just doesn't let it go. And as scary as it might seem with the whole with words like doom scrolling and everything, I'm very hopeful because of the community that we live in, because of the values that we're raised with. Like, my niece has what I never had before. It was literally the world's knowledge, to information that I never had growing up. I had to go to the library and know what do you know what the Dewey Decimal System is?
Yes, of course, kuya. Grabe, di naman tayo sobrang magtala. Inaral ko naman. I had to memorize it.
If I ask my niece, she's going to be like, what's that, Tito? Right? Because right now, she just types into a search bar, how to make the perfect eggs. And she knows what the answer is. How to take care of a hamster. I remember that's one of the I had to go to the library to figure out how to take care of a hamster because we had a hamster in my house for some reason.
Everything's there.
Right? So I think there's a lot of as long as we're this is also for our parents and for new parents, just, be careful about what you post.
Yes. So basically po, even lalo syempre yung mga magulang ngayon, yung mga generations natin ngayon, pag nagkaroon tayo ng ating mga anak, we will be the ones to teach them how to properly use this. And of course, ang dapat po natin na laging na ituturo, katulad ng kung papaanong pagbata pa lang, tinuturoan na po ng pagsamba sa kabataan, PNK, ganun din po siguro dapat paggamit po natin ng ganito pong napakagandang advantage po to everybody. Teach them, of course, how to use it properly and being Christians even online. So I think that's what we should teach our kids in the future. All right.
So now, besides Bea's and I's personal stories and anecdotes, let's hear from a professional. We'd like to welcome our friends and family watching right now, Sister Christine Era S. Reyes. She's a licensed guidance counselor and a psychometrician. She's going to be talking about social media. Let's give her a good listen.
Social media po is an interactive digital tool po na nag-aalaw sa atin to share different information, contents such as pictures, videos, anything that you would really like to share in public. And social media is nowadays po become one of the most easily access po sa ating lahat through our smartphones, laptops. Lahat po tayo actually meron po tayong tinatawag na social media applications na ginagamit. First and foremost, from the word itself, social, it allows us to keep in touch with our loved ones, with our families, friends, without actually being in front of them or being in person. Because it allows us to keep in touch with them, it strengthens po the bonding and the existing relationship na meron na po tayo with them. It also speeds up communication because instantly we can just easily send messages within less than seconds nga, di ba po? Nakakapag-submit na po tayo ng messages. And aside from that, social media is also giving us the entertainment part, meaning it allows us to have fun, right? Through social media, nakakawala nga talaga ng tinatawag nating stress. And at the same time, it promotes learning and creativity. Especially po siguro sa photography because social media ang parang main factor nun, pictures, diba? And also editing, diba? Isa rin po yun. And because of that, those people na may existing na po na skills doon, mas na-hone nila, mas na-develop nila. And those are some sa mga positive effects ng social media. But on the other hand, what are the negative effects po ba ng social media? Maybe everyone can relate, It also triggers insecurities po kasi. Because of the different images or contents na isinishare sa atin, we cannot help but sometimes to compare ourselves dun sa mga nakikita natin, napapanood natin sa social media. In social psychology, we have this thing called social comparison. It's a phenomena wherein we allow other people to define us, or we allow the standards of other people to become our standards as well. So meaning, if hindi natin na-reach yung certain standards na yon, we tend to feel insecure about ourselves. And because it triggers insecurity, sometimes we also doubt our judgment, our own likes, our own dislikes. And because of that, nagkakaroon tayo ng tinatawag na self-identity confusion, no? Or shall I say, yung mga sinasabi nating nagkakaroon ng identity crisis. It also gives us the vulnerability in what we call bullying. Actually, meron na nga pong na-coin na term na cyberbullying. Through social media, it's very easy for everybody to give comments and opinions about other persons na. It also makes us somehow less productive. I mentioned earlier po because it also gives us entertainment and joy. Minsan, nasosobrahan, hindi na po natin nagagawa yung mga bagay na dapat natin gawin. We tend to be less productive. And on the social aspect naman po again, since it's the virtual applications po, no, meaning hindi mo naman kailangan in person nakikita yung tao, nagpo-promote din po siya ng less face time, meaning making relationship virtually rather than face-to-face. So the genuinity of the relationship being created might not be that genuine anymore because of the pressure na kailangan mong ma-maintain yung image na set mo through your social media. I would like to emphasize that the social media platforms are just tools. Just like ano po yung binanggit ko kanina, it's just an interactive digital tool. So meaning, it is controlled by the human or by the person. Kailangan nating malaman na nasa atin bilang mga tao kung paano natin gagamitin yung social media na yon or paano natin pakikinabangan. And definitely, dahil nasa atin yung control, nasa atin din po yung control kung gusto ba nating maging beneficial or disadvantage po ito sa atin. Let's focus first on the limitation of your usage sa social media exposure. It's very helpful po na magkaroon tayo ng awareness and being mindful kung gaano natin ipine-present yung sarili natin, gaano kalaki or gaano ka-public or anong private life natin yung sinishare natin sa social media. Everything naman po kasi, no, everything that is too much really will harm talaga sa atin or sa individuality natin. So it's very important that we'll be mindful and to know our limit. Through social media, we have this power po to spread positivity. Kaya naman, it's very important po that with our social media, it's good all the time po na mga positivity lang po or positive quotes or positive things lang po ang i-share natin to build positive relationship also with them. Next po is to use social media smartly. Make sure po that it brings out the best in you and not your shortcomings and insecurities. Some people use social media po to track their achievements, to track their improvements, no? They usually use it to motivate themselves to do better. Then might as well do it that way po. So use social media po as a platform to encourage yourself to be better, to improve, but not to compare yourself to other people. I always tell this to my students and clients po, no, that when you are doing self-comparison or self-assessment, to have a valid comparison, do not compare yourself to other people, but yet compare yourself to your old self. Because if you really want to see if there's an improvement going on to yourself, then hindi yung ibang tao yung magbibigay ng validation doon, but your old self. So look back po sa mga nakaraan mo, or tingnan mo 5 years ago, meron ba talagang nabago, or meron po bang nag-improve sa akin? Ano ba yung mga dapat ko pang i-improve? Ano ba yung mga dapat kong tanggalin, no? If there are those realizations po kasi, maglilid po ito sa tinatawag nating self-improvement and not to insecurities and also self-discouragement. And lastly and definitely po, no, we as Christians po, we have, bilang mga iglesia ni Cristo po, we have this true Christian values na talagang iniingatan natin at talagang isinasabuhay natin. Bilang mga iglesia ni Cristo, no, we let us use social media not just to share our personal life or to create a relationship with other people, but definitely to share our faith through posting pictures of our activities and also sharing different links and social media platforms din na meron po tayo, just like Instagram, YouTube page, and Facebook page na meron po tayo. And as Iglesia ni Cristo, remember po always that we are Christians even online.
Thank you very much for all of those very useful tips. That is coming from our sister, what was her name again? Sorry, Sister Christine Ara Reyes. Now, she's a licensed guidance counselor and a psychometrician, so thank you again for that. And now for all of our friends and family helping us out today with what was that sound for Soundcheck Mystery Sound? Let's go ahead and read a few guesses coming from our viewers. Parang ice na crush, sabi ni Roberto. It's a chopper, like chopper ng magcha-chop ng vegetables or helicopter, sabi ni Chris Daniel. A mixer, sabi ni Romy. How about on your end, Bea?
Sabi din po ni Imelda, it's like chopper. Ano kayang chopper yun? Naku-curious ako. Anong chopper po? Sabi ni Elsie, drop ng ulan sa bubong. Sabi ni Casifia, parang may nagpapampo ng something. Sabi rin ni I don't even know. Si Sister Krisha, may hinihila na karton with 2 question marks. Kasi nga, hindi naman talaga tayo sure, Kuya. Kuya, what was your guess earlier?
Horses?
Gusto ko yun.
Never know. You never know.
Okay. Let's see.
Let's find out.
Okay, so, Kuya Kevin, tignan po natin, ano nga ba yung ating mystery sound for tonight?
Always in the home department of the mall.
Hello po mga kapatid. Ako po si kapatid na Wiljan R. Perez mula po sa lokal ng Project 4. Pinabati ko po ang pastor ng aming lokal, ang kapatid na Will Eugene Perez. Pinabati ko rin po ang Iglesia ni Cristo, Ambassadors of Faith. Happy 6th anniversary po.
And that was Kuya. Wala tumama sa akin.
Tsaka yung mop. Yun lang pala, yung mop.
Bakit di ko alam na yun? That was our Soundcheck Mystery Sound for tonight. Thank you po, sister, for sending that in. At sa lahat po ng mga nag-guess sa ating comment sections, well, I think better luck next time na lang sa ating lahat. Pati sa amin, yung horses na guess ni Kuya at yung akin na sewing machine. Better luck next time. But, syempre po, sa inyo po, sa ating mga viewers, we are inviting you to please send in your soundcheck videos for your Soundcheck Mystery Sound together with your shout-out video. So, syempre, last week po, we had Sister Elsie po from Milan, Italy. Sister Elsie, thank you as always. And also, pinapabati po ni Sister Elsie. Happy 50th birthday po to Ate Leia na nasa lokal ng bayan-bayan ng distrito po ng Metro Manila East. And that's it for our Soundcheck for tonight. And ayun po, salamat po sa lahat na sumama po sa ating conversation tonight here on UG Radio. We do hope that you had fun and we shared informative stuff katulad ng mga shinare ni Kuya Kyle kanina. Well, I think yung mga na-pick up po natin from this is that we have to be responsible. Kung kahit saan man po yan, responsible po tayo, kung ano man po tayo, wherever we are, and especially on social media. Because remember, we are Christians even online. And with that, let's go to what the Bible says.
Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, His good, pleasing, and perfect will.
And thank you very much to all of our friends and our family and our guests who join us today and next Saturday every night, 8 p.m. Facebook and YouTube on INC TV for all of INC PC's content, of course, for Unity Junction Radio. Tune in again next week. What our topic is, just give us a follow click on that subscribe button or that follow button, and you'll find out next week. And of course, to our leaders, without which this wouldn't be possible, for their constant guidance and their support, to Brother Eduardo V. Manalo and to Brother Angelo Iranio V. Manalo as well. Maraming salamat po.
Yes, and with that, of course, plugs na tayo. We have, of course, Fit to Serve, Sunday, 8 a.m. We have Spotlight, Season 6, Sunday, 7 p.m. We have INCMV by request, Monday to Friday po yan, alauna ng hapon. And of course, we have Monday, Tuesday, and Friday night, 7 p.m. with Kuya Ryan and Kuya Brian. We have Gourmet at Home during every Saturday, 12 noon. Of course, sa mga hindi pa nakaka-download, let's have INC playlist up po sa ating mga cellphones para po dala-dala nyo po ang inyong mga favorite INC original music anytime, anywhere. And of course, continue to like, share, subscribe. Ipag-anyaya nyo pa ang atin pong INC Production Company Facebook page and YouTube channel to stay updated with our various activities, programs, and the latest INCMVs. And speaking of INCMVs, we will leave you with this last one. Yes, we are INC from the INC PC Year-End Concert 2020. Thank you for joining us po, mga kapatid. Kuya Kyle, bye-bye na. Bye-bye po sa inyo lahat.
Bye-bye.
See you next week.
Saturday, 8 p.m.
Woohoo!
Yeah!
Look and think, yun sa panahon natin, we will see, marami na nang trending.
Maging maingat sa pagpo-post, sa gamit natin ang social media. Huwag sana tayong magkalimot, kaanib tayo sa iglesia. INC, we are members of the INC. We're promoting Christian culture, good values, faith, and loyalty with integrity. Yes, we are INC. Yes, we are INC. We're promoting Christian culture, good values, faith, and loyalty. Yes, we are INC.
Let's share our faith sa mga kapwa-tao natin, mag-mission at mag-akay all the time.
We should influence the world today and follow all God's words and intensify the renewal of life. Maging maingat sa pagpo-post, sa gamit natin na social media. Huwag sana tayong makalimot, kaanib tayo sa iglesia. Moderno na ang panahon ngayon, naganap na ang teknolohiya. Sari-sari ang mga click ngayon na tinatangkilik kahit mali na sa aral ng Diyos. Pero brothers, sisters, always remember that we're in the Church of Christ. Maging maingat sa pagpo-post kasi we're Christians living online. Sa paligid natin maging aware at sa kaligtasan ay mag-prepare. Ating i-promote ang Christian culture, mga official websites i-like and share. Hashtag promoting Christian culture. Tayo mga INC, always promoting Christian culture. Tayo mga